Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down the anatomy of a digital horror story that will absolutely make your skin crawl. And then we're going to peel back the curtain to look at the real-world creator who actually brought the whole shebang to life. We're going to dissect exactly how a simple, relatable scenario transforms into a total masterclass in tension and terror. If you love a good scare that feels incredibly real, immersive, and has that ultra-realistic cinematic movie scene quality, that Dolby Vision look with the epic camera movements, then you are in the exact right place. Okay, let's dive right into this.
I wish we never planned this camping trip. I wish I never forced the guys to come here. This is all my fault. Wow. That right there is the sound of pure, unadulterated regret. Before we even understand how she got there, we're hit with the crushing weight of Eva's guilt as she flees a truly terrifying situation. This chilling admission is our cold open, our entry point, and it's a hook that instantly sets incredibly high stakes. So how did a fun getaway turn into a desperate fight for survival? Let's rewind a bit and see exactly how this nightmare was constructed.
Section 1. The Golden Hour Setup. Every great thriller needs a baseline of normalcy, right? Eva and her two best friends, Max and Simon, have eagerly planned a long weekend camping trip in Florida's Apalachicola National Forest. They arrive on a Saturday night, they're having a fantastic time eating barbecue and telling scary stories by a warm, inviting fire. Visually, think of a Hollywood blockbuster quality setup. Golden hour lighting, anamorphic lens flare catching the smoke, incredibly detailed textures in the woods around them. It's the picture-perfect setup for emotional bonding. But beneath this cozy surface, the psychological seeds of a horror story are already taking root. The contrasting attitudes of the friends are perfectly foreshadowing the incoming terror. On one side, we have Eva. This is her first time camping with the boys. She had to convince them to come, and she's super determined to prove she's brave. On the other side, we have Max and Simon, completely dripping with that classic, slightly arrogant overconfidence. They actually thought Eva would be the one getting scared. This dynamic of teasing and proving bravery is an absolutely brilliant character setup, because pride, as we'll see, often leads characters to make terrible decisions when the danger actually gets real. So, let's break down the classic horror mechanics at play here. It's like a giant puzzle, and it always happens in a sequence. Step 1 is isolation. They're deep in the Apalachicola National Forest, entirely cut off from the rest of the world. Step 2 is the introduction of the unseen threat. Around midnight, that cozy normalcy is shattered by a weird growling sound right outside the tent. And that leads us to step 3, the classic trope, the fatal mistake. Instead of staying together, they separate. These 3 steps are the foundational building blocks that morph a simple weekend trip into a suffocating, inescapable nightmare. Section 2. Midnight in the pitch black. The warmth of the fire is completely gone now, replaced by this chilling vulnerability. The atmosphere shifts from fun to sheer dread. Look at how rapidly this timeline escalates. Saturday night is all campfire stories and laughter, but by midnight, Eva wakes up to that strange growling. She immediately goes to Max and Simon's tent. By 12:15, the boys step outside to investigate. By 12:45, Eva has been sitting alone for 30 minutes, her panic steadily rising as the silence stretches on. This chronological escalation masterfully strips away the group's false sense of security, minute by agonizing minute. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of the unknown. Think about it for a second. The storyteller hasn't shown us a highly detailed, visible monster. They didn't need to. The unseen threat, just a weird growling sound, triggers our primal survival instincts far more effectively. The mind fills the pitch-black forest with horrors much worse than anything that could actually be shown on screen. It creates a psychological tension that relies entirely on our own fear of what might be lurking just beyond our field of vision, hidden in the realistic shadows and volumetric fog of the forest. But here is where human nature completely overrides common sense. When Eva wakes the boys up terrified, Simon says he didn't hear anything. And then Max says, "Did someone not say that they're brave?" Oof, that dismissive, teasing taunt right there, that is the catalyst for disaster. To make Eva feel better after upsetting her, the boys decide to step out into the dark to check the perimeter. Max's ego and his desire to mock Eva's earlier claims directly cause a fatal decision for the boys to leave the relative safety of the tent. No way around it, it's a huge mistake. Section 3. The desperate escape. The slow burn of tension instantly combusts into dynamic action. We transition from a psychological waiting game to a frantic, desperate fight-or-flight response. The pacing accelerates, the stakes are literally life or death, and we are right there with Eva as her reality crumbles. This exact sequence of failures completely isolates her. She waits an agonizing half an hour. She tries calling the boys, but her cell phone fails because of weak signals out in the woods. This forces her to pull herself together and step out into the freezing, pitch-black forest alone.
And ultimately, it ends with her speeding away in her car in total hysterics. She survives, yes, but she is utterly alone, leaving the fate of Max and Simon an incredibly haunting mystery. The forest was pitch black and cold. Just let that sink in for a moment. Imagine the sheer terror on Eva's face, the absolute darkness closing in around her, the complete absence of light and sound, except for the crunching of leaves under her frantic footsteps. It's a stark, suffocating atmosphere, like a masterpiece of photorealistic 8K horror with that gritty film grain. Her solitary drive away from the campsite, crying out for her friends, is a masterclass in dread that leaves a massive impact on anyone watching.
Section 4. The creator behind the screams.
Okay, let's totally pivot here, away from the terrifying world of the narrative to the fascinating reality of the creator behind it. I absolutely love this note from the creator at the end of the source material. They write, "I am not a native English speaker, and I know from the comments that some people aren't enjoying my narration style, but I'm trying my best to improve." It is just incredibly touching. In a digital world often filled with harsh criticism, here is an independent creator openly acknowledging their flaws, showing genuine vulnerability, and asking their community for patience as they hone their craft. It takes a massive amount of courage to put your work out there like that. This builds a picture of a deeply dedicated one-person powerhouse. They are animating these stories themselves. They are narrating them entirely out of necessity because, well, it's hard to find someone else to do it. They are actively reading every single comment, genuinely asking for feedback to get better over time. They even openly invite other narrators to collaborate via email. It's the purest form of grassroots digital artistry, someone doing all the heavy lifting alone, fueled purely by their passion for storytelling. Which brings us to our final thought. What is actually more compelling to you? A perfectly polished, multi-million-dollar Hollywood script wrapped in a pristine blockbuster package? Or the authentic, raw passion of an independent storyteller putting their heart into every single animation and learning as they go? The story of Eva, Max, and Simon was terrifying for sure, but the story of the creator behind it is truly inspiring. It reminds us that behind every digital scare, there's a real human being just trying to share their imagination with the world. I hope you walk away from this explainer with a new appreciation for the art of the scare and the incredibly hardworking artists who craft them. Thanks for diving into this with me.